Hello, thank you for joining. It's funny, we do these Monday calls, every week. And every week, I'm always so excited to talk to all of you, meet with our team, especially, and just discuss goals and habits. And I think every season, there are new things that we focus on and that we're prioritizing or that you might have questions about. And so I just look forward to these calls every week. And hopefully, you all know that you can always ask a question mid call. Like, that's what we're really here for, is to answer your questions. But I know it can be a little bit scary to ask questions on Zoom. So please type them in if you're nervous to just shout out a question. Type it in as we do the call and we will answer it. But today we're going to keep it pretty casual. So if you have questions, let us know. We're talking about habits and just really how we handle the holiday season, especially these next 2 weeks of Christmas festivities and New Year's. Then the last 2 weeks of December and a couple days into the new year can be a little crazy and amazing and stressful and taxing and exciting and just really all the things. So I don't know if anyone else has felt this way, but I know I definitely am like overloaded on things on my to-do list, and my mental load is really high right now, just like making sure I'm taking care of everything at home and at work and with my own personal wellness. And it can feel like a lot. So I think I'm going to talk through my email I just sent out for Coach's Corner and kind of kick that off on some things and habits that help me feel stable and grounded during this season. And then also just talk through like how I handle my diet and my nutrition and my exercise, and how I plan to handle that over the next 2 weeks. And then we'll just go around and share as a team, because we're all in different places with different goals, as all of you are. So hopefully it can give you a little bit of like insight into what we do and examples, and help you have just more peace of mind this time of year with your own planning. So on my email, the first thing I talked about is getting outside. I live in Utah. It is cold, the days are shorter, and it just is hard to feel excited about the day to day sometimes, because I'm not getting as much daylight or sunlight. I'm inside a lot more. And so something I really prioritize in winter, which is harder. It's more natural in the summer for me to just be outside all the time. Winter, it's not as natural. So I try to get outside every single day, whether that's like multiple hours going skiing with my kids, or just getting outside and doing my cold plunge, maybe doing a walk, drinking my Perk Energy in the morning outside, putting my window down and cranking the heat on in my car, just whatever I can do to get outside every day, even if it's brief, has just a huge benefit on my mental health. I'm really lucky to have a red light that I also use to supplement when I'm working, but it's not necessary, just like supplementing your protein intake, right? You can get it from Whole Foods. It's a little more challenging. Same with getting outside. Like I have found that if I have the appropriate clothing, then it's actually pretty amazing to get outside in the wintertime. It's like quieter. It's just really peaceful. And so that's something I've incorporated over the last few years that has helped my mental health significantly this time of year. I'll probably butcher the science behind it, but it's proven that if you get outside for a walk, you guys might be able to pitch in here, something about being outside. And I think it's actually being able to see far helps a lot with mental health, in just like with your overall nervous system. I know when I go outside for a walk and I leave my house feeling really overwhelmed and like I have so much going on and just kind of anxious, when I come home, I still have the same things on my to-do list, but I just feel like I have more of a big picture perspective, and can handle it with a little bit more like peace of mind. I'm not so taxed on my central nervous system. So even if it's 5 minutes, a walk outside can change your whole winter. And Coach Jess is actually doing a Get Outside challenge right now. So join that if you need some accountability too. And starting the day with protein. So I think this time of year, there's treats everywhere. Our schedules maybe are a little bit irregular. If I can anchor my mornings with a good amount of protein, I always shoot for 40 to 50 grams. That helps set the tone for my choices throughout the rest of the day. And it also helps to make sure, like, come afternoon, I'm not starving. So I feel just a lot more satiated and getting in that solid. And sometimes too, maybe we have less control over our meals. Maybe there's like work parties, family parties. At least you nailed your morning meal, and the rest of the day might be a little bit more variable, but I think that will set you up for success more than anything. So making that a priority, getting up a little bit earlier so I can actually cook my eggs and not have just like something processed for breakfast, helps me feel a lot more satisfied throughout the day. And then number 3, just getting in some quiet time. I've been really trying to wake up early. That helps me feel so much better, to get a few minutes of quiet to myself before the chaos of the day hits. And then also if I can tackle anything on my to-do list, like my workout, or some work tasks, that helps me just feel like I already have a few things done for the day. And if I don't have control over the rest of the day, I feel like I've checked some things off and taken care of myself. So whether that's getting up 30 minutes earlier or an hour, or even 15 minutes, if you have little ones, like that can be a big deal. Just getting up 15 minutes before they do and having a calm before the chaos of the day. And then my last 2 kind of go together. Having a consistent sleep-wake routine, even if just whatever we have going on. I've been really, really trying to go to bed at the same time and wake up at the same time every day. And that is just helping with more consistent energy levels throughout the day, especially when I wake up, and just helps with feeling good. And with that, at night, having a good bedtime routine. So just trying to go to bed at the same time every night, but establishing that evening routine. What do you do to wind down? For me, laying out my clothes for the next day makes a huge difference in just my motivation to get out of bed in the morning, and having a morning plan. And then also just writing down a to-do list for the next day helps me to not lay on my pillow and think through all the things I need to do. I just feel like I can kind of clear my mind before bed. And that makes a big difference for me too. So as far as nutrition and workouts goes for the coming 2 weeks, I will have my kids at home. And so it's definitely, my kids are at the age now where like Craig and I can swap really easily with workouts. We can get a workout in the garage and they can join us. So I'm kind of out of the stage where I have like babies at home that make it really hard to get 30 minutes of uninterrupted workout time. Now my kids are like, cool, mom's in the garage. I'll see you later. So working out is fairly consistent for me, but I will be trying to get it done first thing in the morning because my days will be a little bit busier and I want to do family time. I'll probably shorten my workouts too over the next 2 weeks so I can just get them in. Maybe not to the extent of like optimal for me, but something over nothing for sure. 30 minutes of something every day is my plan. And then on the nutrition side, I have done this a lot of different ways throughout the years, depending on my goals. Right now, my plan is on the days I don't have events, I am going to be really dialed in. I'm going to track my food just like as normal. And then the days that we have a Christmas party or an event, I'll probably track during the day and then be intuitive at the party and try to focus on just staying hydrated, getting in protein the rest of the day, getting in vegetables, and eating the things I enjoy. I will be fully intuitive on Christmas Eve and Christmas, and then same with New Year's Eve. And enjoying the foods that we make as a family that we're excited about. Cinnamon rolls is one of those things. So that's my plan for the next 2 weeks. And just really like staying dialed in on the days I can control, because I know I feel my best on those days, and then practicing some moderation on Christmas Eve and Christmas, but being intuitive and enjoying the foods that I really love. So hopefully that helps kind of give you some insight. Anyone want to go next? Henrietta, did you have thoughts?
So I was thinking like just, letting you know like what my next 2 weeks, like what my focus is going to be. And also some recommendations or tips kind of that I've given to my clients, because I feel that I have a lot of clients that have asked me now for like how should I handle the next couple of weeks. And I also feel that there is a lot of sickness that has been going on and illness. So it's like going from kind of precisely now getting better, and then now we're jumping into like the holidays and you're maybe a little tired already. So I feel like that is so, and maybe, or people are just getting sick, kids are still sick. I feel like there's just a lot going on right now that's affecting how my advice is. But first, me. So I'm in the process of building muscle and just really going all in on that. Next couple of weeks, though, for example, this week, I will most likely only be able to get in 2 workouts. I'm traveling this week, and I'm meeting up with a lot of friends in Sweden where I'm traveling to. So I'm going to prioritize that basically. If I would prioritize training, I would definitely be able to get in 4 sessions, but I'm not going to do that because I want to prioritize my friends basically. So that's going to be my week where I'm going to be able to get in 2, maybe 3. So that really depends. And I'm totally like mentally fine with that. And I'm not going to track. That's just something that since I started back tracking now when I have a goal, I have not been tracking when I'm traveling because I don't feel, I don't want to basically. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be intuitive. So what I'm going to focus on is eating my meals, and I'm not going to replace meals with sweets. Like I'm gonna enjoy some sweets. I'm gonna go out to dinner. I'm probably gonna have dessert. I might have a glass of wine here and there, but I'm not gonna replace my nutrition, like my dense nutrition, with that. So it's gonna be what I normally eat, more or less, and then added a little bit here and there. And that's totally fine. So that's kind of my approach to where I'm going to focus on getting in whole foods, a good amount of protein, but I'm going to also have a sweet if I want that, basically. So for the next week, after Christmas Eve, then I'm traveling to my parents' cabin up in the mountains. So I'm not going to get to the gym at all. So that week is going to be about, my goal is to be outside every day, get in some kind of movement every day. If that is walking, if it's going up and down hills from, playing with the kids, something like that. That's what it's going to look like, basically. Maybe getting some mobility. And same thing with food. I'm just going to focus on getting in good amounts of protein, whole foods, and then, have some sweets if I want that. I'm also going to focus on trying to have my sleep routine as consistent as possible. Also knowing that when I'm traveling to Sweden, I'm meeting up with friends, I'm probably going to have a couple of late nights, and I'm fine with that. I know that's going to happen. But when I'm settled in the cabin, then I'm going to focus on just getting to bed, reading my book as I do at home, and then turning off the lights at a decent hour, and instead getting up a little earlier in the morning. Otherwise, I'm definitely a person that can go to bed late and sleep in, but now I'm kind of getting rid of that and have for a while. So I'm going to continue with my consistency there. So that's kind of what I'm opting for, is staying with my sleep routine, focusing on whole foods, protein, getting in movement daily and outside time without that being very specific. And then also not stressing about tracking and then estimating with tracking. So that's kind of my personal plan that I feel really good about. So my advice for my clients is, and this is why I mentioned the illness, because I feel like I have a lot of clients that are going through a lot now with sick kids, or so when you're entering Christmas and holidays and already kind of feel very taxed, then that's when I would ask, like, okay, what is stressful for you? Like, are tracking stressful for you? Okay, maybe now with everything that's been going on, maybe you not track over the Christmas. Or are you someone that would feel stressed if you're not tracking? Of course, if that's the case, then for all means track. But what else do you feel that you want to take off your plate when you're not in routine, so that you feel like you can really enjoy what is important to you over the holidays? So basically, something we talked about a lot before, just like going back to like one's values, like what do you want to get out of the holidays? What's most important to you, and how are you able to kind of enjoy that fully without letting go of everything that you are, all of your habits? So it's kind of like meeting in the, in the middle, so to speak. So that would be like potentially not track. It would be potentially not getting to the gym because you're traveling or so, but like, can you walk? Can we get some steps in? Can you get some outside time in? A healthy sleep routine. And again, not replacing meals with snacks, like keep to your meals. And if you're drinking alcohol, maybe like choosing like what nights you're drinking, instead of having like 7 days, maybe we can like keep to a little less. And actually also like, when choosing to drink, if you are like, okay, I could drink for lunch or I could drink for dinner, it would actually better to drink for lunch, because then that alcohol is most likely processed before you go to bed. So it's not gonna affect you as much, your sleep as much. So that is also an advice I have given, like if you have, so yeah, I think I've said enough. That's kind of what I'm thinking about these days.
I love it.
Casey.
Oh, I think you might be muted,
You're
Casey. There
muted.
we go.
Unmuted. Okay. So yeah, the holidays, I have littles. So they will be out of school for 2 weeks. We're gonna be traveling for one of them. So I kind of have like, first week, second week, and they're a little split up. The biggest thing for me, the week that we're not traveling, since I am the parent that stays home more often than not, is making sure I get me time in. I am someone who thrives off of being alone. That's how I energize myself. I have that kind of introverted part of me, and making sure that I communicate that with either my partner or the other people around me, so that I have time, and that's not just working out, but that I have time to truly like be alone. That's kind of my saving grace, and also like reminding myself like, okay, it's just 1 week. Like I can do this, I can get through this, right? But I guess basically what I'm saying is ask for help, for sure, from those who are around you. When we're traveling, I'm like Henrietta, I don't track when I travel. To me, and where I am with my personal goals, it's not worth it to be kind of in my phone and be as uptight about those things, when I would rather be a little bit more present with my experience. Um, but that doesn't mean that everything goes out the window at the same time. So I always make sure to get some movement in, try and stay up on my water. And then first thing of the day, it's how can I get as much protein in as possible? Because that is always the hardest for me and for most people. Like as the day goes on, it's easier to get in your carbs and your fats, and you can get your calories in, but those protein sources can be pretty hard. So for me, I focus on movement, protein in the morning, and water. And then I just give myself grace. Again, it's 1 week. I know that I'm not eating, 5 pizzas. Like I don't go anything crazy off of what I normally would do. But I can have the freedom to try new foods if we're, somewhere that has a different type of cuisine. So that's going to be my focus, is to take care of kind of, my mental health, at least that first week, and making sure I get like restorative time for myself. And then do almost just like the absolute foundational priorities when I'm traveling, but not track.
Hmm.
Do you have
That's
any,
kind of how.
Casey, do you have any like travel tips for actual travel days that are helpful for you? Maybe like flying days or
Oh, I'm a big fan of packing my own food. Even on airplane travel, definitely on car travel.
yeah.
But it's funny. We have small kids, and I know lots of our clients out there do too. It's like you're packing the snacks for them, so that they don't get, hangry and they have what they need when they need it. It's like I do the same thing for yourself. So, I'll cut up veggies, usually lots of fruits, and put them in just like Ziploc baggies, and they fit into our carry-ons. And very, very rarely do we grab snacks at the airport or food, because we just bring what we need. I will also pack a sandwich, right? Or if we have like leftovers from the night before, I'm not scared to bring like an actual Tupperware with me. It's like when we get to our destination to clean it out. So
Don't bring overnight oats though. They take
Too
those.
liquidy. Yep.
Oh,
yeah, it's like
peanut
yogurts
butter.
we've had
My
taken
last
before.
They do?
Yeah,
That's
if there's like any liquidy consistency to it, then they'll take it.
She said if it's the consistency of peanut butter, it can't come. And I was like,
Yes.
it's oatmeal. I need this.
Yeah,
There's
peanut butter,
protein in this.
peanut butter or runnier. It can't go.
Yeah.
But
And
sandwiches, like
nothing that
anything
would piss
pre-made,
me
I
off
feel like is
more than
good.
someone taking my food. So, but yeah, we do, honestly, we do lots of sandwiches and then like fruits and cut up veggies.
Yeah, I love it. That's super helpful.
Mhm.
I like the chomp sticks too. I'll bring those.
Yep.
And I will also bring protein powder and like sometimes I'll bring my creatine, sometimes I won't, it depends. I'll bring electrolytes, but usually what I do with any supplements is I pack them in my checked bag. It's not the end of the world if you put them in your carry-on bag, especially if that's all you have, but any powders or anything, they'll usually want to check at TSA. So just heads up there. It doesn't slow you down a ton, but if you're in a hurry, it's annoying. So I usually just throw all my supplements in my checked bag. And
once when I came from Scandinavia to the US back when we lived there, I got stopped because I had an apple or a banana in my bag. And they were like, oh, come here.
Oh, because of custom or because of
Yeah.
the agriculture.
Oh,
I was
for
like,
international
yeah, I
travel, yeah.
always bring. And like,
Yeah,
no,
I know.
everything. Like, we'll take, like, you just take it.
Yeah. I always forget that. Like if you go to like another country or
Hawaii.
Hawaii, I
Hawaii
always
does it.
pack a bunch of fruits and veggies because I don't want them to go bad in my fridge. I'm like, oh, I'll just bring these. And then I'm like,
Yeah.
shoot, we didn't eat these and now I have to throw them away.
Exactly. And I was like 45
funny.
minutes longer because you
Hurry and eating your apple. Yeah.
just eat the damn fruits if you bring it.
Yes. Eat them. Yeah. Eat them on the flight. What about Griffin, Autumn, or Jess? Do you guys want to talk through kind of just the next 2 weeks diet and exercise, what you're doing?
Mine is actually not super out of the norm. We're skipping the holidays this year. We're not like I have very few parties, I have very few social events, and we're going to visit my mom and stepdad in Mexico. So yes, there's travel involved, but I have the really, really, really nice perk of lots of sun, lots of outside time, and a small, super accommodating, understanding family who's kind of on board with health habits, which I know I'm lucky in that regard, but it makes such a huge difference when they're all eating whole foods and they're all like, we take turns going down to the gym and watching the baby. There is only one baby, which makes things really easy as well. So I know I'm fortunate in this moment of time. So things are pretty similar. We will tag team going to the gym and get our outside time. It's a mile-long walk outside. So I will have eyes exposed, no contacts, no sunglasses. I will have as much skin exposed as possible. So kind of like reverting back to the summer habits that we work on. I will have less cold exposure, except for maybe the showers, but they don't actually get that cold there. So I'll have less cold exposure than I do at home.
Like the ocean is a little bit cold there, right?
The ocean is way
Yeah.
cold, so that's true. I could take my dips that way. But yeah, it's not gonna be a traditional holiday season for us. So sticking to my whole foods as much as possible, sticking to activity as much as possible, sticking to outside time as much as possible, and luckily being quite stress-free through this holiday season.
I love it.
Awesome.
Wonderful. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
something that I forget to mention, that the morning cold exposure, that is something that I'm going to be
Oh, yeah.
consistent with as well. Just getting outside, the first thing I do every morning,
Mhm.
wherever I am, basically, because that's easy. Like, it's not hard. So, yeah.
And it's short time domain. Like it doesn't take away
Yes.
from
No,
other
exactly.
stuff.
Just
And
get
it
outside.
gives a lot.
Underdressed, and it's like really like I really love it now, when I've been doing it for so many weeks. It's addictive.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Never thought I would say that, but I
No.
agree.
It is.
Autumn or
like
Jess?
that's like my number one priority right now. I think it's so cool when it's Christmas break with the kiddos, because at least for my kids, we don't have a lot of sporting events going on.
Yeah.
So it opens up so much time for me, at least personally. But I'm pretty boring. I mean, I'm not traveling anywhere. We're not doing anything crazy, but my number one priority is just to get outside as much as I can. Uphill skiing, do some things that I'm not typically have time to do. Family coming into town. I'm the same as you, Griffin. I have family that is so into what they eat and fitness and all the things. So it's a little easier for me to stay on track. But lots of protein in the morning, electrolytes through the day. Cold plunge is a must every day for me. And yeah, just when I can track on days that I know I can stick to 100%, just stick to 100%. And there's going to be days that I throw in the towel at noon, and that's okay. But just try to do the best I can each day. So, and move around just a ton and just enjoy being cold.
I love it.
Yeah.
Brace the cold.
Yep. That's all you can do.
Jess, you get to finish the
Okay, I'll
finale.
just add one tidbit because with everyone sharing, I think similarly, like being intuitive as needed, being present is huge.
Mm.
Whether you're being intuitive, tracking, whatever you're doing, the presence, and especially this week leading up, like most, if you have kids, they're getting out this week. And so remembering between this week and then Christmas and then the week between Christmas and New Year's is that I get to choose my peace. And so whatever that means for me for that day, if I need to take some space, go to a yoga class, take a longer walk outside, whatever that is that I am accountable for choosing peace and what my intention, how I want things to feel. If I feel chaotic and out of sorts, then that's on me to like bring back my peace. And so not giving anybody else that power. Because yeah, there is a lot going on, and there's family dynamics and different things and all those, we all have different scenarios, but ultimately knowing that I'm responsible for my peace helps in keeping my intention of how I can find that day to day when it can be a lot going on, or there can be a lot going on and I can find peace. So choosing that for myself.
Embracing the and this season for sure. And on that note, our New Year's challenge is coming up and we are so excited about it. It's going to be different than any challenge we've done before. So stay tuned. I'll probably be sharing more in the app as well as on social media, and we'll have an official email going out the day after Christmas so everyone can sign up. So we look forward to that. Anyone that's a subscriber can sign up, or if you're a one-on-one client, you just want extra accountability in the new year, that's great too. And we hope you all have a fantastic holiday season. We will, next Monday is Christmas, so we will not be doing a team call. It might be a little chaotic if we did that. So we will be doing probably we might skip the first also, because New Year's Day is the following Monday. I think what we'll do is we'll do a Q&A live call on Wednesday the 3rd is when we'll meet again to kick off the challenge and answer questions and go through all the details for that. Because the challenge will officially start on the 8th. So it'll be prep week, that first week of January. So we will miss all of you in the meantime. And as always, reach out on the app if you have questions on anything. And we hope you have a great rest of 2023. Thanks for joining.